Long time no see, guys. How's everyone doing? Yes, new background, new haircut. Not the best haircut, very short. I look like I just joined the military, I know. And this is my first video in like over a week. Everything last week was pre-recorded. Here we are. I apologize for not being able to get this out last night, but if you know, I'm in a new apartment. So new background. Whenever Sky's in his crate, it'll be right, you know, right there. That'll be there. But let me know what you guys think. What should I put right here? You know, like, you know, just think of anything. A poster, a flag, you know, just think of something. And then what should I put, you know, on the door? Because I usually will close my door when I'm recording. So what should I put there? Should I put something next to the, right above Sky's crate, right on the TV, or next to the TV? Should I put something there? This is the background. That's the bathroom door. Don't think about that. But here, there, and there. What should we do? I don't know. Finally, this is the first day where I'm actually quite settled in. Sky is not very settled in yet. It's obviously a new apartment, new place, so that's going to take a little bit more time. But I was able to catch most of the race yesterday, especially the first half of the race. The second half, I was in and out because I was, you know, taking care of the dog as he, you know, was waking up, since I think the race got an hour rain delay. But the one thing that happened that could have really messed everything up actually did end up happening. Before we talk about it, I want to give a shout out to all the Patreon members who always supporting the channel. You guys are the best. Remember, guys, if you are a patron member and it has like some sort of card payment issue, that is why your name is not on the list. So try to get that figured out as soon as possible. And yeah, let's talk about it. We're gonna talk about the playoff standings a lot. I have to find it, actually. I was not able to do much on social media yesterday, but Kevin Harvick wins at Michigan. Bubba Wallace comes in second. It came down to a restart with around 30, a little over 30 to go, and he ends a 65 race drought winless streak. And overall, guys, the race, you know, Michigan. I've not enjoyed Michigan races of recent. Most of them have been with a 550 horsepower package. We saw race cars hitting over 200 miles per hour for the first time in a very long time. I think some guys were going 205 into turn one, I think it was. Don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure. But they were definitely going over 200 miles per hour. And it was, to me, the best racing Michigan has had in a while. So there was a recent on the top groove, or basically the top groove. It created basically a 3-lane track, which Michigan's usually a 2-lane track, and even then it's usually a 1-lane track because the bottom lane is debanked from everything else. But overall, in my opinion, the next gen car, as it has throughout this entire season, has put on a good show at the intermediate or speedway style racetrack where it used to be a 550 horsepower package. This was, to me, the best Michigan race in a long time. Was it like a great, fantastic race? No, I don't think so. But it's Michigan. You know, you have to like compare races sometimes to the track that they're at. Like a Texas race that is bad might actually be good because according to Texas, it's the worst racetrack of all time. So like a Michigan race that is good might be average or poor at another track, like, so let's say like a Darlington. But this is Michigan. You know, they kind of screwed up the repavement however many years ago it was now. It was a long time ago. The surface just has not worn out, and they've tried everything to get it to work, you know, to create the multi-groove racing they used to have. I think they repaved it back around 2013 or 2014, somewhere around that time zone. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. I don't entirely remember, but I do remember it's been a lot of years. And yesterday was the first time I really saw 3 lanes. Like the bottom lane obviously was not, you know, the best, but I saw 3 lanes. And then you saw how draggy this car was. I think the commentators are, am I bleeding on my lip? Am I bleeding on my lip? You saw how draggy the car was, like down the straights, and I think it just, honestly, I think it just created some pretty solid racing. Sky wants in my room. There's the king of the channel, guys, right there. Do you want to come in or not? We're doing a video here. Do you want to come in? Okay, dog is on the bed. We're good. So, where was I? I've completely lost my train of thought. But the Toyotas were really strong. Looking at the final results, not as many Toyotas as I expected, but there was one problem. Kyle Busch for Toyota. Kyle Busch runs really well in the first run, but then pit strategy. There's a lot of pit strategy this race. A lot of, do you take tires? Do you take 2 tires? Do you take no tires? Do you stay out? What's the fuel mileage? the strategy, and this is a track like Michigan. One thing I'm noticing is that I feel like the crew chiefs are really trying many different things when it comes to strategy at certain tracks that, you know, sometimes you don't really think about it. Today it honestly felt like some style of Pocono sometimes when people are just trying different strategies everywhere. But Kyle Busch gets involved in a wreck, which there's a hard hit by Austin Cindric as well. And I know a lot of people worry about the hard hits in the next-gen car because, well, yet the next-gen car does not have the best, best reputation right now when it comes to hard hits and dissipating the energy for the driver. Cindric was okay, but Kyle Busch gets caught up in it. And so then he's basically out of the race again. It's something like 8 straight races outside the top 10. So a struggle for him. One of the main storylines entering the race was Bubba Wallace, who qualified on pole. He ran pretty well all day. He led the first portion of the race, then he fell back a little bit, then he came back to it, and it was just that final restart between Kevin Harvick and Bubba Wallace where Harvick gets the edge, and then Bubba after the race is like all hard on himself. And listen, like I get it, you know, like you gotta be hard on yourself, but you know, this is the best run of races that Bubba Wallace has had in his career. I'm talking the last about 2 months. He has performed actually well on a road course races. He's performed well on the intermediate tracks. He's performed well basically everywhere that NASCAR has gone the last 2 months. And so he should be pretty proud of himself. A second place finish. Yes, could he have won? Maybe, yeah. Did he have the car to win? Yeah, probably. It is what it is. I don't think he should be that hard on himself. But the main story is Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick wins. And so he led basically the final 30-ish laps of the race. He had a strong car, and you knew he had a strong car because when he was battling with guys like Suarez and Christopher Bell for the lead sometimes, and Denny Hamlin as well, he was able to run the bottom, which that's when you know you have a strong car, because the bottom is usually not really the place to go. But he was able to really try to make a pass on the bottom and really get his car to stick, and then it kind of determined what was going on in the straights, you know, like would he get a push from behind, what would go on there, that really determined it. But you could tell at that moment, it was about a little halfway over the race, that he had a strong car, and then he's able to bring it home. And so what does that do with the playoff standings? Let me go find the playoff standings real quick because I want to show it to you guys. Okay, so I have it on my screen. I'll hopefully be able to show you guys as well. So what has changed? Well, it's really around the Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, Mark Truex Jr. I've been talking about this for weeks, guys, you know. Will one of those guys win? And Harvick was in a must-win situation, which leads into Watkins Glen and Daytona, where it's going to be like, you know, whoa, what was going to happen here? There's actually 3 races left. It's Watkins Glen, Daytona, and one other. What's the final race? Richmond. Yeah, Richmond, Watkins Glen, Daytona. Okay, so that leaves Ryan Blaney, which is crazy because Ryan Blaney's literally in the top 3 or 4 in regular season points, but he has not won a race, which means Martin Truex Jr., Eric Jones, Eric Almirola, and more specifically with the speed that he is showing, Bubba Wallace. So Ryan Blaney has to be really careful. Now, will Bubba Wallace win at Watkins Glen? I think I can confidently say no. Okay, he's not going to win there. Will he win at Richmond? Yeah, you never know, depending on what Toyota really brings. Daytona, Bubba Wallace is due for a plate race win, so he would be one of the favorites entering that Daytona race. Martin Truex Jr., could he win at Watkins Glen? Well, Toyota's road course package hasn't really been the best this season, but if you guys remember, Martin Truex Jr. is a very good road course racer. Even when Toyota struggles, Truex is usually the best Toyota out of all of them. So if Toyota and Gibbs can bring him a good enough car at the Glen, then yes, Martin Truex Jr. can win that race easily. He's one of the best road course racers in the field, along with Chase Elliott, and you could probably throw Tyler Reddick in there now, well, this season, because RCR and that A-team have really figured out the road course package, and Reddick is a very good driver. You could have Truex win the Glen, or he could even win Richmond. You have Bubba Wallace, who could possibly win Richmond. I wouldn't count him as one of the favorites. That's more of an outsider thing, but he could be one of the favorites entering Daytona, and that leaves Ryan Blaney, who has shown speed all year, but it kind of tapered off a little bit the last few months, and things have gone wrong, and they haven't been able to put a race together, and he hasn't, you know, Penske have not really had the blistering pace that some other teams have had at certain racetracks. Like when you think of like a Tyler Reddick right now at a road course, like that's the best car in the field. Or you could think of when Chase Elliott's had really good cars, you know, like that's the best car in the field. Or when Toyota's really kicking on it, like it was at Michigan, those are the best cars in the field. Penske and Ryan Blaney and Logano, they haven't really had that, you know? So they haven't really had that pure, raw pace. Blaney had it like at the beginning of the season, but ever since then he has not really had it. So can Ryan Blaney win a race? Can Truex win a race? Can Bubba Wallace? Those are the guys I'm looking at. I'm not really looking at Eric Jones and Eric Almirola. Daytona can throw anything. So could Eric Jones and Eric Almirola win at Daytona? Yes, of course. But I would have to put Bubba Wallace as more of a favorite at Daytona just because of his recent plate racing success. Right now, the Kevin Harvick win has made it even more interesting to me because Kevin Harvick was in a must-win situation, right? And then Ryan Blaney and Truex were on the bubble. But it didn't really matter if it was Blaney in front or Truex in front. They were both in. With Harvick winning, now what really happens is you have 19 points between Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr. You can either point your way in or you can win your way in. And so that is going to be really crucial. Everyone else has to win, but Truex and Blaney are now in a points battle, which means if you're going for stages, stage points at Watkins Glen, this is going to... One of the most fascinating things at Watkins Glen is what does Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr. do? Do you sacrifice the possibility of a race win for stage points, or do you go for the race win and give up the stage points? It's all really going to determine at that race what kind of speed do you have. If you think you have the car to win, then you should sacrifice the stage points. But if you are running 10th and you don't think you can win, then you take as many stage points as you can. So Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr. are in a full points battle right now. Both drivers deserve to be in the playoffs, but they won't be in the playoffs. Both of them will not. There's only one spot. So this is why it's going to be very interesting. I think the level of competition in the field this season has been really good. I mean, I'll throw the picture back up. Look, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Logano, Reddick, Larson, Briscoe. Briscoe's been a little bit weak, but I'll still throw Briscoe in there. Bell, Suarez, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman, Austin Cindric, Kevin Harvick. Usually, like, you could throw in maybe like McDowell winning the 500, or maybe there's one or two guys that really don't deserve to be in the playoffs. You think everyone here, in my opinion, deserves to be in the playoffs. I think Briscoe's been struggling a little bit, but he also deserves to be in there as well. And that leaves Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr., and both of them deserve to be in the playoffs. And you could even argue Bubba Wallace in the last 2 months deserves to be in the playoffs, but he was not really anywhere near the first, basically 5 months of the season. He wasn't really nowhere near. So, then you really kind of don't deserve to be in there. So the whole playoff situation is incredibly fascinating, which it's going to make you want to watch Richmond, even though I don't think Richmond's going to be the best race right now because the next gen car struggles at short tracks, and a track like Richmond probably will not do the best when it comes to the quality of the race. But Watkins Glen and Daytona, I gotta go to that Daytona race. Sky, can I get you a babysitter or something? I need to get like a babysitter or someone to watch him. But if I could go to that Daytona race, now that I live in Orlando, Daytona's only like, I think it's like 45 minutes. I'm gonna actually look it up on my phone. I am 1 hour away from Daytona, 47 miles. I am 1 hour away. Okay, I gotta go to that race. I have to go to that Daytona race. So I'll see if I can figure out a dog sitter and get that done. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else to talk about, guys? I feel like I know there are a lot of things that happened in the race. Cole Custer's left front tire like blew into flames. That's something that's really weird, and we've been seeing that. I'm so used to a tire going down and like shredding the car, but the tires go down now and they just like smoke, and they could possibly catch on fire. There was an incident between Ross Chastain and Christopher Bell as well. So Chastain was on the outside, Bell was on the inside, thought he was clear. Chastain stayed on the outside. They collided coming out of turn 4, ended Christopher Bell's day. Honestly, I think it's just a racing incident. You know, when you're racing Ross Chastain, no matter what he says in the interviews, he's just going to be ultra ridiculously aggressive. But even in this situation, he's just on the outside. If you're not clear, you're not clear. So that's kind of probably on the fault of Christopher Bell. He probably thought he was clear, slide up in front of him, but he was not clear, and that ends up ruining Bell's day. But Christopher Bell and that 20 team quietly have been very fast week in, week out. So keep an eye on him, because he's been very, very fast. And I guess I haven't shown the race results. We've been talking about the playoff standings and who won. So race results: Kevin Harvick, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, Logano, and Blaney. Truex, Larson, Jones, Bellman, and Ty Gibbs gets a top 10. Yes, Ty Gibbs is still in the 45, doing a stellar job, I might say, in that car as well. Just gotta think about this. He didn't run a next-gen car 2 weeks ago. He never ran it in his life. Now he's getting more and more experience in it, and this can only help him later on. Do I think he will be in the Cup Series next year? I don't think so. I still think Kyle Busch will be in the 18, but if things go wrong and Kyle Busch is not in the 18, then it makes perfect sense to put Ty Gibbs. I know some people think like you're rushing him in. Who else are you going to put in? Like, Ty Gibbs needs a spot someday. Like, if it's not going to be next season, it'll be the year after. So I'd rather just have Ty Gibbs in the Cup Series 1 year early than putting someone in there for a year that you know doesn't want to be, like, you don't want them in there. Like, who else are you going to put in the 18 car? It's either Kyle Busch or it's Ty Gibbs. Kyle Busch should be your #1 choice, but if things go wrong, can't find sponsorship, whatever happens, then of course you put Ty Gibbs in the 18, legendary 18 car that Kyle Busch has made his own. And so we'll see how that all goes. Hey guys, that's going to be it for me. Again, let me know in the comments what you thought about the race. Let me know what I could do. This spot right here, this is going to be like viable space. I mean, I'm not going to get a sponsorship. I'm not going to, like, you know, put like Manscaped right here, right? We're not going to do that. I got to put something here. I already got like Arsenal stuff, right? And all that stuff. So like, what do we put around here? What kind of background do we get? Like, if I'm gaming, right? This door right here is gonna be visible, and maybe this right here might be visible. So, what background stuff we're gonna put? Think of posters, think of flags, think of things, you know, that we can put. Let me know what you think. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I need to get more iRacing videos, but I haven't even set up my iRacing stuff yet. So I got to figure out how that all is going to work. I've only set up the desk right now. And later on, I will show you guys like a full view of the room when it's completed. It's not completed. It's not even close to being completed yet. It's just the desk, TV up there and stuff, and like Sky stuff, and a bed. So it's not even close to being done yet. So when it's completed, I'll let you guys know. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. Subscribe if you're new. And the next 3 races are going to be really, really, really. I mean, I'm fully locked in. I am fully locked in right now. So hopefully Sky's not pissing me off on Sundays, and I could actually get the videos up on Sunday. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.